Hey, what's up, guys? So we've talked a lot about what to sell in the upcoming patch with the gift boxes, the divine gifts. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what's going to be hot and what to buy potentially, depending on your server and your marketplace values. So the main thing that's going to happen is, this is all speculation again, so it could not happen. But what typically will happen, in my opinion, is that since all the regrade prices are going way down and people are going to be able to regrade, they're going to be using a lot more regrade charms. So most of them you can actually purchase on the marketplace. The green ones are 150 credits. You'll see they're selling here for 42 gold. That's a pretty high value already, so I don't recommend really buying them. You can compare them to like the workers' compensation potion, and on this server the workers' compensation potion is roughly around 80 gold, and that's 300 credits. So now again, those regrade charms were half the cost, and they're roughly 42 or 43 gold. So the price is pretty spot on. You don't expect them to grow much at all. Next one up is the blue regrade charm, which surprisingly is a great value for if you're ever buying things off of the auction house or off of the cash shop and selling it on the auction house here. This one is only 200 credits on the cash shop, and you can see you can sell it for 74 gold right now as the cheapest price. So again, a huge value. This is much better item to sell than the workers' compensation potions. The next one is potentially the yellow regrade charm, which sells on the marketplace for 600 credits, if I recall correctly. And right now you can see this one is 150 gold, so you're still the best value at buying off of any item off of the marketplace here is 200 credits for 75 gold for this blue regrade charm. But the ones that we really want to talk about here are the red regrade charms. Depending on your server and how cheap they are or how expensive they are, the red regrade charms I think are the ones to buy and stock up on right now, because 300 gold, it may seem expensive, but this is the regrade charm that gives you a double chance, increases your success by 2. So that is a double chance of success, and when you get higher up in weapons and using Delphinad weapons to regrade or higher crafting tier weapons like Celestial or Divine, things like that, you need these red regrade charms to help your chances to actually work. Otherwise, you either break your item, you downgrade, or you just lose all your stuff. So pretty much you're required to use these guys if you even want a chance to bring up a weapon past unique status or celestial status. Like, you have to have these red regrade charms, and the only place you can get the red regrade charms is in the cash shop RNG boxes. You can't actually buy them here in the store. So you'll see there's no red regrade charms on here for sale, and unless Tryon Ninja adds red regrade charms in here in the cash shop anytime soon, these red regrade charms will be super expensive. They have been up to 1,000+ gold on some servers before. And the reason they dropped now is because there was a big like duplication type bug where you could roll on the RNG boxes and get pretty much whatever you wanted out of them. So Tryon didn't clean up everything, and that plummeted some of the prices. So again, right here we're seeing 300 gold at the cheapest, and we're going to go ahead and buy all these guys up here, these red regrade charms. So depending on your server, again, if you find any probably within under 600 gold, I would recommend probably buying them and stockpiling those guys, because there's a great chance that those things will be worth 1,000+ gold again. And if not, they're definitely going to stay around this price. Especially 300 gold on this server seems really low, and it definitely feels like a great value here to go ahead and stock some money in. So again, we're going to go ahead and buy, and there's not many on here on the auction house. You'll see once we pick up a couple, the supply dries up. There's about maybe 15 here on the auction house. You see, that's it. That's all. So we picked up like 5 or 6, and now there's only 1 or 2 left of the normal ones, and then there's a superior red regrade charm, which this can be used for any level of success. The normal one can only be used for unique or lower tier items. So you can only use it for unique or lower, which this is the most common, because once you get to Celestial here, if you try and regrade up to Divine, you can actually break your weapon or armor. So most people stop at Celestial because they don't want to have the chance of breaking their weapon or armor. So we're going to go ahead and pick up the last one there. It says, again, it's under 600 gold, so that seems like a very good value. And if they do reach 1,000 plus again like they have, that's a 2 or 3 times increase in value depending on how high they go. So those are things to watch out on your server, is those regrade charms. And if you definitely want to actually buy credits and then sell something on the marketplace or on the auction house, most likely you should check out how much your regrade charms are selling. Specifically, that blue regrade charm is typically one of the best sellers, cash drop sellers that you can do. So definitely check that and check tax certificates. Tax certificates have been selling extremely high values, so check those out. If these guys are cheap on your servers, comparatively speaking to like the workers' compensation potions, you might want to go ahead and stock up on these regrade charms and then sell them once the patch hits a little bit later. So there you go. Those are some of the items. There's another speculative item that could be a very, very big money maker depending on your server and conditions, and that is the blank regrade scrolls. So these are what you're actually required to use to make the weapon regrades, the armor, the accessory, and then the armor, accessory, and weapon regrade scrolls. You need a blank regrade scroll, and then you need a sun point or a moon point, and you combine these two things together. And so these guys could potentially jump up pretty significantly. So 340, that's a really cheap value right there. We're going to go ahead and grab those just for right now, because even you can see this is 420. We'll go ahead and grab this one at 292. That's, again, a pretty good value. You can go ahead and actually craft these yourself. And these are some of the items that could potentially jump up in value depending on your server and what goes on. So we'll be tracking these things. So there's this special Dawn Lake Light Essence. These guys are directly tied to that blank regrade scroll. You need some of these guys to actually make those blank regrade scrolls. You can see it's only 2 gold on here, so it seems fairly cheap comparatively to some of the other servers. They're already up into the 3 to 5 gold range. So we can go ahead and pick up a bunch of these. These guys come from fish. So if your server has a lot of fishermen that are just AFK fishing for the heck of it and trying to raise their proficiency, your Dawn Lake Light Essence will be a lot cheaper. So we'll go ahead and buy a bunch of these guys up, because 2 gold, again, is fairly cheap, and you need these guys to make those blank regrade scrolls. And again, already on some of the other servers, these guys are already 3 to 5 gold each. So seeing them at 2 gold on this server, it definitely feels like a buy item. Because for the most part, the servers, even though they're independent of each other, they do roughly act very, very similar, because it's the same game, the same drop rates of everything. It just depends on what players are doing. So if there's a lot more fishermen on this server, then that means these Dawn Lake Essence are going to be cheaper. Or someone potentially hasn't figured out that this could be a pretty big money maker in the near future. So someone could have already figured that out on the other servers, and they jumped the price up. And if someone has, and these are already at 5 or 6 gold on your server, you definitely don't want to invest a whole bunch in them. I always recommend on trying buying and investing items that could have a 2+ times growth. So like if this jumps up to 7 gold, we make 3 times our money. If it's only going to jump up to like 4 or 5 gold, it's not necessarily really worth it. But if it has the chance to go up to like 10 or 15 gold, you have that possibility. It's great. If it was like 5 or 6, again, it would jump up to like say 12. It's only worth 2 times your money, and you're taking a big risk that it could actually potentially go down or stay the same. And then when you do sell it, you lose 10%. So you always have to factor in that 10% factor. Always try and get at least 3 times your money out of the items that you are buying to invest. Again, this is tied to the fish market. So if you have a lot of fishermen, these things will be cheap. You can go take a look. You can actually craft them yourself. So you'll notice the basic fish, you need 10 of these guys, or no, 100 of the basic fish to actually make 1 of the Dawn Lake Light Essence. That fish right there is only 1 silver, so we could buy up all these fish and make Dawn Essence and actually make them cheaper than what we were paying. You can see right here, here's 100 fish for 1 gold 59. So if we do that, we would spend 10 labor and 1 of these blue salt gloves, and we would have a Dawn Lake Essence. And so that is why the prices are cheaper here, is because these fish are cheaper, so there's a lot more fishermen. People haven't bought up all these fish yet. You can also check the higher grade fish, it requires less of them. So the green ones, it requires 20 fish to make 1 Dawn Lake Light Essence. You'll see here 20 fish is roughly around 160. So in order for those to price jump up, all these fish would have to sell and prices on fish would have to jump up dramatically. So it is sort of a long shot depending on your server and the conditions, because a lot has to happen. But it is at 2 gold and 1 gold, that's like chump change, and you can pretty much throw that kind of money around, you know, like nothing, and it won't really affect you. You can just buy thousands upon thousands, and that's still only, you know, 5,000 gold. Whereas when you start getting up higher prices, like in the Apex, we have a whole bunch of Apex, and we can't really buy that many Apex because they are 500 gold each. So you can see our stack of 50 is worth 25,000 in gold. So if we try and go and like manipulate the Apex market and buy them all up, it would cost us, you know, like 10,000 gold or something crazy like that. It costs us a lot of gold. There's only, what, like 10 of them on here total? But still, there's 1,600, 1,100, 550, 500. So this is still going to be nearly 10,000 gold if we were to buy all those Apexes up. So we will pick up a couple here, because that's what we've been doing, picking up a couple here and there. Cheap ones, 500 gold seems to be the new price here. And the price is slowly increasing day by day, you know, 10 to 15 gold per day. Apex should steadily rise, probably get up to like 1,000 gold in a few months. And again, there should be a big Apex jump in the next couple days. I looked at my patron time, and my patron time actually expires in 5 days after being a Archean Founder Pack person. So potentially in 5 days, the game's going to lose a lot of Archean Founders, or they'll have to renew and use Apex to renew and get their subscription back up. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. If you also have anything speculative that you may think be increasing and want to share, potentially leave those down in the comments as well.